Hey YouTube, it's Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, here with another drum vlog episode. Today, I have a few things planned that I wanted to go over, and actually, I planned on doing kind of more like the other drum vlogs where you saw me outside and stuff like that, but I took a lift here to the studio today, and the guy showed up so fast, I just didn't have a chance to do any of that. So anyway, I'm just here at the studio already. But in case you're unfamiliar with these drum vlogs, and what I'm trying to do here is basically, I do a lot of videos on my channel where I review products or I have like a specific topic that I talk about. But with these drum vlogs, I feel like, if I have like several things, like little projects that I want to do, and I don't really think that it's enough to make up an entire video, then I kind of put them all together into these little drum vlogs. And yeah, so that's kind of it. Today I have a couple projects that I wanted to go through. So yeah, that's basically what the whole concept of these things are. It's just a lot of little things put together, and I just put them into these drum vlogs. If you like this kind of thing, don't forget to subscribe. You can do that down below, as well as check out my record label, which is anthillrecordings.bandcamp.com. And that's a really great way that you can support what I do here on this channel. So anyway, let's get started. What I plan on doing today actually is, first off, well, you might have seen on some of my earlier videos, I recently picked up this Tama Club Jam Mini drum set with the add-on pack, which you can see here. Well, sort of. It's kind of out of camera, but you can see it a little bit. And this thing has a 18-inch bass drum, a 10-inch rack tom, and a 14-inch floor tom. And for the rack tom, I wanted to put a like Gauger rims mounting type system on there because I have that on my other Tama kit. But I didn't really want to spend as much money. So what I was able to find on reverb.com is one of the old rims mount systems. This is one of the steel ones. And these were, I believe, made by the company Purecussion, who is no longer around. And they licensed the rims mounting system from Gauger. And so they're basically the same exact thing, except they're just made out of steel instead of an alloy. And I was able to find this one for only, I think, $30 on reverb.com. So it saved me, about $60, which is pretty good, because the new Gauger rims mounts are going to be about $90, but they're totally worth it. I did a video about one of those in one of my earlier drum vlog episodes. So first we're going to put that on, and then secondly, I just picked up, also on Reverb, I love reverb.com if you couldn't tell, I just picked up these Paiste 505 hi-hat cymbals. And I have a 505 ride already that I've had for several years, and it's a great sounding cymbal. I love the Paiste 505 line. They're a discontinued line. They're a little bit thinner than a lot of the newer Paistes, and they have a nice washy, kind of jazzy type sound to them, and I just really, really like them. And I saw these hi-hats on there for a really good price, so I picked these up. So I wanted to give a demo of these, as well as record some drums to a song that I have. Basically, I started it months and months ago and totally forgot about it, and was going through all my files the other day and found this song, and I was like, wow, why did I never finish this? So I wanted to record some drums to that, and I figured that would be a great way to showcase these Paiste 505 hi-hats. So that's what we're going to do in this video today. First off, I'm going to put on the rims mounting system before we get started on the song. And let's just do that first, and then we'll get on to the hi-hats. So yeah, here we go. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do, obviously, is, well, maybe not obviously, if you've never done this before, is take off the head of the rack tom. And I have this thing tuned pretty low because it's a 10-inch, like I said, but I have these Evans hydraulics on here, which allow them to sound pretty low pitched, which is cool. So I just take this off. That way I can get to the tom mount, and I have to remove the tom mount basically and attach it to this right here. So that's what I need to do first. And since I've done several of these already, one of the things you want to make sure you have are some washers, because a lot of times when mounting hardware goes through wood, the screws are, quite a bit longer than they need to be to go through a thin piece of metal, like the rims mounting systems. So, let's get this off. Geez, these are long. So yeah, bring some washers. And I really, really love these Tama Club Jam drum sets. I have 2 of them now. I have the mini with the add-on pack, and then I also have the flyer that I converted to an electronic kit that you might have seen in my last upload. And both of them I just think are great. I would, one of these days I want to hear what that flyer kit sounds like acoustic. I mean, I've watched videos, and there's a great Tama demo video from Tama where it's like they're kind of playing jazz with it, the flyer kit, and it sounds so cool. Okay, so we have the head off. Now let me find my screwdriver. A couple screwdrivers in here. Oh, there's that other clamp. I was looking for that. Okay. So let's just take this off. Just leave the screws inside because that way you don't want to drop them and lose them. That can be very frustrating. You ever like drop a screw? You see it land, but it just like seems to go into another dimension or something and you just never find it again. That happens to me all the time. Okay, so got that off. Pretty easy. And that thing is really small. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's see how this is gonna fit. Hopefully it does fit because it's very little. This has the universal, ooh, this might be a problem. That might be an issue. Okay, so the thing is so small that it doesn't really work in any of the holes on the universal mounting system. I mean, I can get it on here, but the problem is that bottom hole is so gigantic, that's not going to hold anything. So, I'm not really sure what to do here. Do I have any kind of anything I can put on there to kind of make it work? Shoot. That kind of stinks. What if I... Nope. But I definitely don't want to put it on with just one screw. That would not be good. Let's see what I have in my bag. Maybe I have something that I can rig this with. I didn't even think about that as being a possibility. Snare drum string. What else do I have in here? What's this? Drum trigger parts. That won't work. Hi-hat clutch. Oh, I have another drum trigger here. Oh, this is one of those drum dial drum triggers. I forgot I had an extra one of these. Darn it. I just ordered a piezo. I really didn't need to because I already had one of these drum dial triggers. Well, I'm going to take that home because I might be able to do something with that. Well, okay. The rims mount I may not be able to do just yet. Because that's pretty much all I have here as far as parts go. I don't have a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's just so little that it's not going to work. I have some more mounts like this at home, I think, that are bigger. So what I could do is actually just take one of those and put it on here and use that. And then actually I wouldn't even have to take this off of the drum then. I could just leave this on the drum. And which way was this on? Alright, well I'm going to put it back on for now. So we're not doing the rims mount at this stage. Well, now that I have the top head off of this rack tom, it actually gives me a good chance to kind of fine tune the bottom head. Now, the way that I do this is if you, the reason why I say because the top head is off, actually the reason why that's almost better is because then you don't get any overtones from the other head. All the tones you hear are from this head alone. So the way I do this is I tap with my finger around every lug on the drum, and I don't know if you were able to hear that on the video, but this lug, these two, because they're always going to be in conjunction with the ones kind of across from each other, these two are slightly higher than the rest of the drum. So let me go ahead and fix that. Where's my drum key? Oh, there it is. Bring up the other ones just very slightly. I'm not going to tune them very much because I don't want a really high tone out of this thing. Still, I might have to bring that one down a little bit, but let's keep trying. Okay, let's bring these down now. Also, I'm going to stretch the head because these are still pretty new. Wow, that made a big difference, actually. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Now, you might have noticed too that when I tuned one side, I tuned the other side directly across from it. Now, you always want to make sure you have even tension on your drum. Now, there's a couple of YouTube videos of some drummers saying, you know, showing how to tune a snare drum when they're tuning all the lugs, all different tensions and all this stuff. Don't do that. Unless you want to destroy your snare drum, don't do that. You may be able to get a cool sound, but what happens if you have, I mean, if it's a little bit off in, you know, unbalanced tensions, it's not really going to hurt anything. But if you, basically, if you have really drastic differences in tensions, it's going to warp the hoop over time. So don't do that. Anyway, let's put the top head back on and tune that one. And these Evans Hydraulics heads are super thick. Very thick heads with oil in between the two plies. Which gives them a very warm, full sound. Not a lot of sustain. Some people don't like that, but it doesn't bother me. Honestly, when you're mixing music, sometimes tom sustain doesn't really help you that much. Sometimes it makes things more difficult to deal with if you have a lot of sustain. That's not something a lot of people even talk about. They always want their toms to sustain. I mean, granted, here I am trying to put a rims mount on the tom that will make it sustain a little bit more, but I just don't want it to be choked. The problem is when you mount on a piece of metal, and I have noticed with this tom, like, it just resonates a little bit better when I'm holding it in my hand to when I put it on the mount. Now, it's still, you know, the Evans Hydraulic is still going to make it not resonate or sustain quite as much. I mean, it resonates good, but sustain is what I'm talking about, where, like, if you're recording, even though those are kind of similar. But too much can be bad. That's the point I'm trying to make. But it doesn't hurt to have a little bit. They really made these lugs long on this thing. You know, it's like I used to play a long time ago. I had a Ludwig with a 10-inch tom, and then I played a 12 again for a long time. And then after I was playing a 12, I was like thinking, oh, 10 is too small. But then I got this, and I'm like, 10's not too small at all. Actually, it sounds really nice. All right, so that's on. Now we're gonna have to get this up. What I do is I try to remember the pitch of the bottom head. And of course, these hydraulics are so thick, they don't really do those kind of overtones. And you want it to either be, basically you want to either tune the heads, well, there's no one way to do this, but what I like to do is either tune the heads the same pitch, or to have them, you know, be a chord with each other. And what I mean by that is like you can have like the bottom head a fifth higher than the top head, which is probably what I'll do in this case because these are so thick, I don't want them to be that high. So let's... bring this up a little bit more. Same thing, I'm just trying to get them all to sound the same pitch all the way around. That might be good. Alright, let's hear what that sounds like on. We'll see, I might have to change it. A little too high. Sometimes when you get the drum on there, you just have to change it. It's pretty good. Loosen the bottom head a little bit. That's a little better. That sounds pretty good. So let's leave it like that until I get the rims mount on there. And yeah, so I think that's good. Let's move on to these hi-hats. So what I'm going to do is set up my cameras in the normal drum position that I normally do. and then we're gonna just go ahead and play through a song, and you guys can hear what these things sound like. Just a couple quick comments about them is they're actually quite thin, but they sound really, really nice. They have a very musical wash to them, kind of jazzy sounding, and they complement the ride cymbal just perfectly. Also, let me show you all the other cymbals I'm using right now. Okay, so for my crash on the right, I'm using this Meinl Generation X kinetic crash. Couldn't remember the name. But this thing is really cool. I've used this on a lot of recordings, and I did a video about it probably about 2 years ago. But this has a really unique sound. And on recording, it really sounds nice. It's got a very smooth wash to it on the recording. And you'll notice it kind of has like this wavy edge, almost like sound edge hi-hats. And I think it might be nickel silver. They don't call it that, but judging by the color, it's definitely not bronze, and it's definitely not brass. So to me, I think it's nickel silver. It sounds like nickel silver. And then here's the ride, the Paiste 505 ride. And then over here on my left, I have my Classics Custom Dark 16-inch Crash by Meinl. So those are all the other cymbals that I'm using. And the drums are the Tama Club Jam Mini with all Evans Hydraulics heads and all stock bottom heads. And well, I might as well mention the mics, even though I've talked about this before. Have the ATM 650 on the snare. And I'm doing the Glenn Johns miking technique. Have an SM57 over there. And then above I have the KSM 32 by Shure. That looks a little crooked. And then my kick is a Shure Beta 52A. And I really love that kick drum mic. I got that fairly recently, but I think it sounds really nice. So anyway, let me set all this stuff up, get ready to record, and then you guys can hear this song. And I don't know what it's called yet, but I'll probably name it in the video. All right, everybody, that's going to be all for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Drum Vlog episode number 5. And once again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do click the bell icon and the like button so you get notified every time I upload new content. Well, the bell icon does that, not the like button. The like button helps me feel good about myself. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And stay tuned for more great videos. And hopefully you guys are all staying safe and playing the drums, playing some music, getting some good recording done while you're inside. And thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see y'all really soon. Later.